Hi everyone, this is Scott Dudley from Funnel Fella Radio, and today I've got the pleasure of introducing both Paul Counts and Shreya Banerjee, founders of Marketing Counts. How you going, guys?
Hey, it's good. Going good.
Awesome. So this is actually oh, sorry, go on.
No, I said, how are you?
Going well, going well. So this is actually the first time I've interviewed two people at the same time, so it's something new, but very cool. All right, so just for both of you, if you could sort of give me a bit of information about your background and how you first got into funnels or marketing in the first place, that'd be fantastic.
Yeah, Shreya, why don't you go ahead?
All right, he has a more interesting story, just so you know. I started way back when I was in college, just trying to make a quick buck or so. And I did make a quick buck, but then I graduated. Everybody told me to go get a job, and that's what I did until about 5 years ago when my son was born, and I came back into it. But this time when I came back, I was more strategic-minded about it and not just going after the quick buck, right? Yeah. So that's why I launched a few products, met Paul for a live event, and then we launched Marketing Counts.
Awesome.
Yeah. And then I've been in business, started back in junior high. So I started 20 years ago, over 20 years ago now. This is my 21st year. We joke it's my online drinking age. So
it's finally legal.
Yeah, finally legal. So I've been at this, started at 13. So I was selling t-shirts for a custom screen printing company, and I was doing their reaching out to athletic directors to sell like shirts like this, like polo shirts with the, which side is it? Embroidery. And so I was doing those kind of shirts and ended up just like one thing led to another. They got a website. The owner said, hey, you wanted us to have a website. You learn how to market it. So I started to do SEO way back then, many, many years ago, and started to master that, become really good at it. And then one thing led to another. Then I started launching my first products, doing my first funnels. And then as Shreya alluded to, we met a couple years ago and started our Marketing Counts venture and business, and the direction we're on now, which is exciting, and doing a lot of live events and workshops and things like that.
Excellent. So you released a lot of products on both ClickBank and JVZoo. You able to elaborate a little bit on that?
Yeah, absolutely. So we've launched quite a few products. We've launched several together. And then prior to us meeting up, Shreya, you had launched a few products by yourself too, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a couple, one on blogging, one on YouTube. They were both on JVZoo platform.
Yeah, and then I was a ClickBank Platinum seller for a while with the Real Guys brand. And so we launched several products, no cost income stream being one of our most lucrative products, and it did very well. And lots of downloads, lots of people like that product. And it was great run on ClickBank. And then we've carried that success over to JVZoo and had, 7-figure plus sales on 2 different platforms. It's a great honor, and it's been fun.
Fantastic. So do you reckon ClickBank is dead, or is that still worth going to, or what do you reckon?
It's big. Yeah, ClickBank is a lot bigger than JVZoo actually. So ClickBank is, as far as market share goes, they're just enormous. When you look at like a lot of the, like the revenue numbers and the niches, JVZoo is more like internet marketing, whereas ClickBank, all the other niches. And so the BizOp, make money online space where I'd had my run at the Real Guys. It's one of their smaller categories. I mean, they're just killing it with weight loss and fitness and those kind of products and relationships. And so ClickBank is big, definitely the market leader in info products.
Okay. So what projects are you both up to currently?
Yeah. So we have a couple of fun ones. Shreya, do you want to talk about, I think it's a great one. We're partnering up with it's a national organization in the United States, and we're helping to create some, curriculum as well for students, right?
Yes, we're getting into schools and colleges. Our curriculum is, so we're not only teaching online marketers, but we're also getting in with schools and colleges, and that part's exciting. The other big one is we're partnering with Online Sales Pro and doing their marketing.
Yeah. So we do the marketing and training for them as well. And so, so that's an exciting project, great partnership. It allows business owners to build small landing pages, and really allows us to be able to connect with small business owners and really reach them with a tool that they need right now. And then we actually have it in our funnel transition users from that over to ClickFunnels. That's kind of the transition we take them on because it's a natural path for them.
Yeah.
And so OSPs are real simple, basic, like get your landing pages built, get your leads flowing, and then, get your sales pages and all that over at ClickFunnels. And so we have a good little funnel, but we're excited for that partnership. It's got a lot of opportunity. And, but most importantly, like Shreya mentioned, we're thrilled to be helping see our curriculum being taught in colleges and high schools now.
So is that all virtual, or is that also like seminars or in person as well?
We've done both.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Yeah,
Done
we've
both. Yeah. Yeah.
So I guess right now it'd just be virtual, wouldn't it, with what's going on? Yeah.
Yeah. It's virtual right now. And
Yeah.
it's great. And that's, we kind of saw a need in the market. So it's, a good example for business owners, right? If you see a need, you go for that need.
Yeah.
And we saw schools need help right now in marketing training. So we're going to provide our knowledge to schools. And that's one of the things we've worked on.
Yeah, perfect. All right, so just to move on to sort of testing and optimizing. So what sort of things do you test the most and find the most important as far as testing goes?
Yeah, so a couple of things. I mean, from my standpoint, we have a lot of the same ideas on a lot of these. It's really testing, for one, the first thing we do with our coaching students, test the headline, because the headline is the most critical aspect of any part of a sales funnel, just like it is for an email open rate. Headline's critical. So we do test that. We change that. If your headline doesn't pull, they're not going to read the rest of the sales copy. So I think a lot of marketers go there and talk about it. But that's because that's what counts, right? That makes all the difference. So
yeah, that and price as well.
Yeah.
The price on the product. A lot of people, I feel like when they start a launch, it's not performing well, they kind of, give up and say, okay, ship's kind of wrecked.
Yeah.
So that's where Paul does an amazing job of this, where we pivot quite fast, where, okay, what's not, whether it's headline, pricing, look on the pages, pictures, colors, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, but those are the two big ones.
Yeah. Those are the first things you look at and then go from there.
With the pricing, it's a little bit difficult to test that in ClickFunnels. So that's where you'd need to probably use some other software for that, or how do you get around that?
Yeah, for testing, I mean, ClickFunnels works well. And then we also use, if you're using JVZoo, they have a nice split test feature as well.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So they have that where you can actually serve up 2 different sales pages, see which one does best. And then you can, within ClickBank, there's tests you can do and little tweaks. But typically, honestly, we take more of a simplistic approach. I mean, yeah, we're strategic in what we change, but we try to not change too much at once, but you maybe make 1 or 2 tweaks and then you watch how sales are. Then you can tweak another thing, to also see what happens.
All right. So you might have answered my next question, but I was sort of going to ask, is there like a particular strategy or a process or a methodology that you use to actually optimize a funnel? Like a starting point and then you go from there, or do you just sort of play it by ear?
Yeah, so we watch, I mean, like we mentioned, the first thing we look at is the headline, and Shreya pointed out that it's one of the key areas we pivot on. And then, we kind of take it from there by changing one thing at a time. So anytime you're making split test changes, you don't want to change everything. That's a mistake people can make, right? So
otherwise you won't know what's working and what's not working.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Right, you're doing true or false test, and then exam, if you can't keep picking different ones, you'll never know what you're wrong.
Exactly. You'll never know what did it. I mean, and Shreya can attest to the fact that, I mean, I've changed some weird things on funnels. I mean, clear on down to, what are some examples?
Okay, so believe it or not, he's added a picture of an Oreo, and that converted better.
Yeah.
Yes, because we had a bet. I was like, "There's no way. Why are you adding a picture of an Oreo?" But that converted better.
That page converted better. We did a test. We had a fun one where Shreya made changes to a page and I made changes to a page, and we were seeing which one was going to convert.
Yeah. A bit of a competition.
Yeah. Obviously you won, but with a picture of an Oreo.
I still tested everything. The reason I chose an Oreo was I was like, well, it's cheaper. This is cheaper than a bag of Oreos or a container of Oreos, and that's what I went with, and it worked.
Not your typical pizza or cup of coffee that most people use. But.
Yeah, and that's, I think, why it was a little different.
Yeah, a little bit obscure, but I guess most people like Oreo, so it sort of got their attention.
It did. It definitely hooked them. Yeah.
Oreo for the win.
Yep.
Cool. So what are your favorite tools for testing funnels? and optimization.
Yeah, optimization. I mean, we use, obviously ClickFunnels does a good job of that
Yeah.
for testing, got that built in. So when we use them, that's great. A lot of people don't realize that Google Analytics gives you a lot of good data that
Yeah,
you can
it's true.
pull from. And the reason we like that, Shreya, is because it's free, right? So you can't beat that. So we love that. Behavioral flow, looking at your behavioral flow within Google Analytics. So if you have a multi-page website instead of just a sales page, you can see where the drop-off is. So a lot of people think I need the expensive tracking tools and stuff like that, and you actually don't. So you can use a Google Analytics and then watch where they're dropping off in your funnel through the behavioral flow and see how that goes. And then you can use basic things. We use ClickMagick in our business as well.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
that's another tool. So we can track where people are clicking and how many people clicked on a link to the next page. And I think the biggest thing is I feel that people can overcomplicate it. And we teach that a lot, don't we, about not overcomplicating processes and
keeping it simple.
Yeah, keeping it simple. We, it's not that we're anti-testing and going crazy, but it's interesting that we go into companies that we start working with, right? We'll work with companies and we simplify their process and they'll have like a bunch of ad campaigns they really don't need. So we kill all those and we start over from scratch. We start simple and like simplicity counts. That's really what we push, is keeping things simple.
Yeah, and sort of minimizing the amount of things that you're focusing on too, I guess, sort of a bit like the Steve Jobs approach, where he sort of reduced the amount of products and then Apple took off. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And I think businesses have too much going on at times.
People can follow it better too. It makes sense to them all of a sudden, right? Rather than it being all muddled up and.
Yeah, exactly. Because the average business owner really doesn't have much clue about, the advanced side of testing and marketing. So I can see what you're saying. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. All right. So maybe other than the Oreo example, have you got another example of a marketing test that ended up providing a weird or unexpected result that you never thought was possible?
Yeah. So we have one of our clients that we work with in the medical space that we wanted to share was, typically medical niche market, very expensive, very expensive market to get ads and, ad spend wide. Right. And, just because there's a lot of competition and generally there's companies have more money there. And so we ended up setting up a funnel for them where we're getting 6 cents a click. We have another campaign with them that's getting a penny per click on Google Ads. And obviously we knew we've been experienced because we work with State Farm agents and other companies where we go in and we help with their marketing. We're used to seeing a decrease in ad spend. Like that's typically what happens with all of our campaigns. So we know how that works. And so we expected that. What we did not expect was that this campaign in this very competitive, expensive niche market was me getting clicks as low as a penny, anywhere from a penny to 6 to 7 cents a click on average, and sending them 20,000 visits a month. So it definitely exceeded our expectations. That's an example of something that went well though, right? Like, I mean, we want to do those things. And then, we have kind of extended that out to everything else we do. We're like, wow, what went well there? Okay, let's add that element to our other niche markets. Yeah. It's really neat how that works.
Yeah, I guess that's a great thing when you're working with a lot of different businesses. You can sort of pick up insights from what's working from one business and then apply them on another, as well as your own business as well.
Right. Yeah. We were actually able to transform it into not just Google Ads, so we were able to take it to another platform, Facebook Ads too. And one of our coaching students just received 4 cents a click.
Yeah.
Following that, so it worked overall.
Yeah, it was just the way we structured it, wrote the ad and everything. We carried it to a whole nother platform too, and it made a difference. So
yeah, well, when you're getting clicks at that sort of price, I mean, that's when you can just start like throwing so much money at it, and that's when everything would explode, I guess. So that's pretty exciting.
Yeah, and they've been happy. It drives thousands and thousands of new leads, in a medical niche. And, it's one of those where we even warn them, it's when a campaign's going so well, if Google starts to call you, like, don't talk to Google. Like, Google's not going to help you right now.
You can't go lower than 1 cent a click.
Yeah. Like they got an email from Google that was like, oh, we want to help optimize your campaign. And Shreya and I both were like, don't do this. Like, it's a trap. It's a trap. Like Google's trying to figure out why you're getting such low clicks. Don't do it.
Yeah, that's probably true. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because like Shreya said, you can't get less than a penny a click, so don't touch it. Like
that's for their benefit, not for yours. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So for both of you, who are your marketing idols or the biggest influences in your career?
Yeah. So yeah, go ahead, Shreya.
I would say Anil Patel, just
Oh yeah.
because a lot of stuff that we do at Marketing Counts, like when I first popped into this space, it was I either find like someone who has a lot of technical knowledge doesn't have a very good way of communicating it, or someone who's completely fluff, and Neil has that good balance, and that's what I love to strive for, and that's what we strive for too. And I look up to that in him.
Yeah,
He
he also has
owns Crazy Egg. Oh, sorry. I was just going to say he's the owner of Crazy Egg. Is that right?
Crazy Egg. Yeah, he owns that. Yeah, Crazy Egg. And then what's the other tool you use, Shreya, that for keywords?
Oh, I love to use his tools. For the keywords, we use Uber Suggest, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Uber Suggest. He's great for that. Yeah, I forgot he's partner on Crazy Egg too. Yeah, which is another good tool for tracking and seeing people are using your website. Yeah, love those tools. Yeah, so for me, I've got two. One's not really anyone else would know other than me, but he's been a mentor in my life. Is a guy named Steve Danzig, very successful business owner. He had the largest Pepsi distributorship in Washington State, the whole Northwest region in the U.S., and very, very successful businessman. And he taught me a lot about business, about numbers and how to run a business. And, he taught me how to sell a business. And I mean, I learned more under him just, in a short time as a high school kid, all this, it was incredible. So, you got to have people like that pour into your life and that teach you things. And he was teaching me, he would get after me if I didn't make notes of stuff too. Like he was very good about like, you take a note of that. And he always used to tell me that the most successful entrepreneurs always have short lead in their pencils, which meant you better be taking notes. So he taught me a lot about this business and those kind of concepts. And I learned a lot. And then, and he also gave me a chance. He's the reason that I'm in internet marketing, because it was that guy that is the one that said, hey, you wanted a website, so you learn how to market it. As a young kid, he treated me just like any of his peers, anybody else. He would be as harsh on me as them. And he would also be as, as like rewarding to me too, In fact, he would use me as an example to sales reps and say, why is this high school kid from a small town beating you guys? So they hated me up there, but he would, he just had this way about him though, but he was the one that said, hey, you want a website, you market it, got me the job. He paid me minimum wage at the time to do it. And I thought that was cool because I was in high school. And then he pulled me aside after 2 years and said, you're really good at this. You should not be working for minimum wage. I'm going to pay you more, and I'm going to send you to a few friends. And that's what really got me into this whole where I'm at, doing digital marketing and teaching people. And so he was a big one. Steve Danzig, great guy. And then the other one that marketers may know, it's a guy named Eugene Schwartz. He's written the book Breakthrough Advertising Secrets. And I just love to read anything marketing related. I've had people tell me, if you're stranded on an island, and I answer that question, I mean, if you had like one book or one skill set you could learn, it's how to communicate with people. If you can communicate people effectively via writing, the written word or speaking, you're going to have no problem in life. So that's a great one on copywriting.
Yeah, I've got the hardcover book of that myself here.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, it's a good one.
It's hard to find, actually. I think it went out of print or something, but I got my copy.
Yeah, I paid $150, I think, at one point. Yeah, to get it. And it's been worth it though, because I've actually implemented some of the stuff for our own business, and it's really incredible. It's one of those books that I keep using as a reference. So.
And even though it was written like 60 years ago, whenever it was, it's still completely relevant to what we're doing today. It's timeless. So.
It is. And that's what I love about those kind of books, is anything copywriting related or persuasion is related, is that the emotions of people is the same it was. I mean, yes, there's different elements in our world, but people are motivated by the same things now they were 60 to 100 years ago. It's the same thing. I mean, so if you can hit those pain points in your copy and that's, back to the ad example, that's one of the reasons our ads get such low cost per click. And, it's because we're creating ads that, we're generally getting 5 to 10 times the average click-through rate for certain niche markets, because we're able to write good ads. And so that's why knowing how to write ads is so critical.
Yeah. So, I mean, the copy's just not for the pages. It's obviously for the ads as well, because that's the first thing they see. So that's a good point. Yeah. Cool. All right. So where can people go to find out more about Marketing Counts?
We're everywhere.
Yeah.
We're on Amazon. If you get bored, you want to go search on Amazon Prime, you can look us up under digital marketing training. We pop up there. We have a podcast, marketingcounts.com.
Yep.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That's the big one. Marketingcounts.com is, yeah, where we're building out the website even more and trying to be intentional about putting everything there, you know, because we have so much, like Shreya said, you know, we got the Amazon series and we've got, or some content on Amazon, and then we got the podcast. And so that's the best spot, marketingcounts.com.
Excellent. All right. Thanks, guys, for joining me. That was really fantastic. Appreciate the insights. And yeah, take care.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Thanks.